everybody. I'm Bill Anderson, and today is a very special edition of Bedford County Sports Live. This is the first baseball show that I'm aware of, and I did radio here in the late 80s all the way through the 90s, and I don't remember a baseball show ever, but this is the first ever. Coach Chase Jones show, and Coach Williams is here with us as well, and we're going to talk to some of these senior kids. We're going to talk about Shelbyville baseball, which is on the upswing, and we're going to try to do it, unless the boys are playing, every Wednesday to keep you updated. And we're either going to go out to the facilities and tour that a little bit and have a little fun with Shelbyville baseball this year. Right now, we're going to hear from our sponsor, First Bank. And that was a spot from our longtime sponsor, First Bank, 508 Madison Street, right here in Shelbyville. Personal banking is about who knows you. Don't just have an account, have a connection. Coach, we got some players with us today. Why don't you introduce everybody to everybody?
Well, we've got our seniors. We actually have 5 seniors. We had one that had a haircut appointment today, Nick Johnson. So
got to get the hair right now, Coach.
Got to get the hair right. Yeah, we got to have it under the hat. So he's not with us today, but we'll start on the end. Got Nick Hopper. Nick plays second for us. He's going to hopefully get some quality innings for us on the mound. He's come a long way over the last 2 years, and we're expecting a lot of really good things out of him this year. We've got Parker that, he's going to get a lot of innings on the mound for us. I'm hoping that he's going to help us quite a bit on the mound. And then I'm gonna take a minute with this guy right here. He gave us all quite a scare a few weeks ago. We're just, thank God, he's in the position he's in. I'm not gonna. I'll let him talk in a minute. But Kyler has, he was integral part for our success that we've had at this point. He's a huge part in our outfield. God willing, he's going to be back with us later in the season. But I'm glad he's sitting here with us today.
Absolutely,
being part of us. And then we've got Carson Williams that plays shortstop, pitches for us. He's going to be been a huge part of our program. So I've been here the last 3 years. It's going to play a huge role in the success of the program, success of the team this year. But just, you talk about 5 outstanding, just love to coach, love to be around each and every day. I'm blessed. Coach Williams is blessed to be around these young men. You could not have any higher quality men than these guys sitting behind us.
And what kind of leadership do these guys give to these big group of juniors and freshmen, sophomores?
Immense leadership. Right. We've talked about, and they do a great job. The first thing as a leader that they have to do is they have to lead by example every day. You can't come out and you can't be rah-rah guys, and you can't tell people how to do things. It's do as I do, not as I say. And these guys, every day that we come in and work, they show our younger guys the process that we go through every day to make sure, and our goal every day is to get that much better. And these guys every day lead by example, and they become, now as they're seniors, they become much more vocal. I couldn't be any prouder of where they are right now. Still got work to go. We still got to get better at it, but they're great leaders for our team.
All right, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Williams. What do we play? What do we do for the Shelbyville baseball team?
I play shortstop and I pitch. I have hit 3-hole the past couple of years. Just looking to eat up a bunch of innings this year.
Oh, good.
Yes, sir.
Good.
I'm excited.
Kyler, what do you play?
Center field, middle of the lineup type of guy. Get on base, cause havoc on the base pads.
You wouldn't steal a base, would you?
I will.
I bet you would. You might steal more than one, mightn't you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's great. Mr. Burks, what do we play?
I'm a pitcher. This year I'm looking to get some innings on the mound and do the best I can for the team.
And this is one young man I know quite well. He's good friends with my nephew, Hudson. Nick, what are we playing?
I play second base, and I also hit in the middle of the lineup. I'm there to swing it, and if I need to put the bunt down, I can.
You wouldn't steal a base, would you?
Depends.
Just depends. Depends on whether the signal's on from coach or not.
Or he's got the green light.
They got the green light. You can't beat that. Coach, while we're here, I want to also talk about just briefly on the upgrade to facilities that we've done out there. We're going to get into it later.
Okay.
But y'all have done a lot of work out there. I think a lot of folks don't know about.
Well, first off, I've been coaching for 27 years, and I've been in 4 different programs. Shelbyville is far and away the best community I've been in as far as the amount of support. We're able to do things at the field right now through the support of the community, through the support of the 12 and 12 initiative with Mr. Cooper. There are things that are being done at the field right now that just blows my mind. I'm super excited. I'm super excited that our kids are going to have an environment that they can play in that's going to be as top notch as a high school baseball field can be. It's going to be an exciting environment. We're going to have a lot of great things. We're getting a new scoreboard with the Jumbotron, where we've just redone or in the process of redoing our press box. We've taken down the fence and putting up a new fence. And then next year, there are several other projects that are going to occur. There are a lot of great things. And again, that is completely through the hard work of our kids, our parents, the community, Mr. Cooper and the 12 and 12 initiative that has allowed us to do that. But as far as the growth and the development of our facilities, I couldn't be more excited or more pleased with where we're going with it.
And right now, I know this freshman class in particular, the parents all across the board, but I'm going to mention something. Did a fish fry for Coach Dryden.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Clanton and I used to do it at Cascade for a number of years, and Randy looked at me and we saw those parents helping, and we thought we were at Cascade. No, we were at Central High School.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference I see at Central. I see a different environment. I see more parental involvement,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got a really good bunch of parents I know in baseball, because I know a lot of them, that
Yes.
really will get out and do the work for not only the kids do the work, but
Mm-hmm.
the parents too. You got a good bunch of parents.
Without a doubt. I mean, again, when we talk about the community, and I kind of guess I lump the parents in with that, but this is
Right.
the 3 years that I've been here. This is the best group of parents. When we have a booster club meeting or a parent meeting where they come in, it's 95% participation in the meetings, if not 100%. At some programs I was at, it would maybe be 50%. At best. We have phenomenal support from the parents of our players. And we could not do many of the things that we're able to do without their support and without the hard work that they put in each and every day for their kids and for this program.
Well, while we got Coach Jason Williams here, I want Coach Williams to talk about what y'all are doing in the community, what kind of things you've got going on, and what's happening.
One of the greatest things about Coach Jones being hired was when he came in 3 years ago. Our philosophies are so similar. We want to win ball games. We want to be competitive. We want our kids to have the heart of competition. But above all that, we want them to go out and learn how to be productive, good citizens. When they leave our program, we want them to be high character young men. So when he got here, it kind of got birthed in the night. We're thinking, okay, well, we live in a culture where everybody feels a sense of entitlement, where they're owed something. And that doesn't produce high character people. So we thought, well, let's just do one thing a month for our school, for the food kitchen, for somebody in the community. And let's do one thing. And as my wife and I were talking, we came up with this slogan: if we'll do one thing every day for somebody else, our school, our community, our world will be a better place. So we started that pretty much on the onset when Coach Jones got here, and the kids have been bought into it, and it's really fun to see them kind of enjoy it. From picking up garbage on campus to cleaning out a historic cemetery, and that's kind of breeded in our culture. What our vision is for when these guys leave the program, that they're not self-centered, they're looking outward, and they're going to be difference makers in the world. I preach to them all the time about two types of people. There's givers and there's takers. There's victims and there's warriors. And we want them to be givers. We're only in this world for a short time, and by the time they leave our program and when they go out there, we want all these young men to have the maturity and the character to go out and make a positive difference in the world and to be givers in the world.
And that's another thing. I know Coach Dryden, the football team, did a really nice job of going back to the elementary schools with some of these elementary kids. And I don't think you boys understand what a kid in the 5th grade that looks up to you because you're playing baseball at Central High School. And sometimes you can make a difference in a young kid's life to get them to play a sport or do something. And I just think it's been really good the way Central's been going back to elementary schools.
And you go ahead.
I'm sure y'all are as well.
And our guys, and that they enjoy it in the off season. They go and they'll stay an hour and a half after school and tutor.
Good.
During the season right now, we go during our Eagle time, which
Good.
is called, and they read to the kids. They show up in their jerseys on Fridays and give the kids high fives, get them excited about coming to school.
Makes a difference.
And it not only just makes a difference for the young kids, but it makes a difference for these young men. Once they figure out what it's for,
right?
They can see the effect that they're having. And as the coaches who that's our main goal for the 12 for 12 program to help facilitate that is absolutely incredible and profitable for us.
Right. Absolutely.
And that was just with Mr. Cooper's vision, and it tied into everything that with football program, with the baseball program, we want to make this community a better place, 100%. And you said it a second ago, when these young men go out to the elementary schools, they don't have an opportunity to see a Tennessee Titans star or to see an NBA guy. These are their superheroes. And when they go out there and our athletes are talking to them and they're thinking, well, this can be me one day, and they're talking about character development and how important that is to them. The goal is, and that's why Mr. Cooper, when he named it the 12 and 12, we're going to start with first graders. And by the time that they get to the 12th grade, they're going to be the ones that were receiving. Now they're giving back. And that philosophy ties right into everything that our program is about. Like we talk to the kids all the time. We put a ton of time into improving our baseball skill set. And as coaches, we want to build as good baseball players as we can. But that's not our top priority. We will fail our kids as coaches if when they leave our program, if they are not better men, if we have not instilled to them the things what Coach Williams was talking about, when you get out into the world can be a harsh place. And if you're a victim and you make yourself a victim, you're not going to be successful. You've got to be a warrior, but you also have to have the mentality that you're not going to be a taker. We're going to make it a better place. It's going to be better because we're here. It's not going to be worse because God put us here. It's going to be better. And our kids embrace that. And everything, and the thing that makes me the proudest when I watch them, yes, I love watching them on the baseball field and things they accomplish, but watching how they interact with some of these young people and watching how they interact with themselves. And Jason, and like he said, he and I are in tune almost completely philosophically. That's what makes our heart swell. And that's the purpose for us as coaches. Yeah, we're going to make them better baseball players, but I've been doing this again. I've been doing it for 27 years. I don't have a player that's made it to the major leagues. I'm hoping that will happen one of these days. But what we do have, we have tons of professionals. We have guys that have gone on to be doctors or lawyers or teachers or something in the profession.
I'm sure you've had to play college baseball.
Yes, no doubt. But they're, but outside of that, how being as good of a father as they can be, as good of a husband as they can be, as good of a citizen as they can be. Those are the things that we take great pride in finding every aspect in baseball that we can, and correlating that to how you handle that in baseball is the same exact way as we handle that in life.
And handling the winning and losing. I'm going to tell a quick story. My daughter's going to shoot me for this one. She's in the 2nd or 3rd grade. I get a call from the teacher. And she's teaching everybody's a winner. And my daughter raises her hand and she says, no, if there's a winner, there's got to be a loser. My daddy says that's the way it is. And the teacher calls, you tell her that. And I said, you're darn right, because we do need to know how to win. You also need to know how to lose. We're not all winners. I hate to say it, but we're not. So you need to learn both and learn it early on.
100%. And again, for me, and I'm a little biased with baseball because but for baseball, it's the greatest sport to teach that, because you're going to fail in baseball more times than you're going to succeed. You got a Hall of Fame hitter that's hitting 300. Well, theoretically, that means that he's failed 7 times out of 10. If he didn't learn how to handle failure out of those 7 times, he's certainly not going to have success in the 3 times. And again, it goes back to no matter how many times, you're not a failure because you fail. You're a failure because you don't get back up and you don't respond. Exactly. And that's what, and again, our kids embrace that wholeheartedly.
Coach, let's talk real quick. Let's talk about your pitching staff a minute. How's that looking this year Who do you project to be starters, relievers, and whatnot?
Well, we have a large pitching staff.
Okay,
Right
good.
now, we have about 19 kids that we are rotating through, throwing bullpens. Coach Williams is our pitching coach, and he's doing a phenomenal job with them. They have grown leaps and bounds. We're looking forward to having a pretty solid pitching staff. Let me turn it over. Let me let Coach Williams kind of talk about rotation and what we're thinking about right now, pitching staff, because he's with them each and every day.
Well, this isn't set in stone.
Of course not. No.
But honestly, we have 5 guys who potentially could translate into district starters as the season goes, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
That's huge because most people have 3 or 4, maybe, right? If 4,
Yes.
if that.
this year we actually have a little bit of velocity, which is nice. You know, we faced big arms in our district last year. We'll face them even more this year, low to mid 90s. We have some kids that are in the 90 threshold this year, which is great. But more than that, we have some kids that are learning how their body works and how to throw strikes and not just that, but throw multiple pitches for strikes. So I would say, you know, we've got about 5 kids that we're looking at that potentially could be a district starter. Now, that being said, we have 2 or 3 that we feel really good about that could be district starters. And then we have a whole staff that can fit multiple roles from being a short reliever to a closer to a middle reliever. We've got righties and lefties this year, which is nice.
That is nice.
So I don't know what that's going to translate to on the field, but I know I don't lose as much sleep right now as I did the last 2 years, wondering how we're going to get through innings.
That's a fact.
But the kids have bought in and they're competitors and they want to do good. You know, if you got a kid that wants to do good and they can compete on the mound, because that's what the mound is all about. It's competing. It's going out there and taking the challenge and saying, you're not going to beat me. And if they do beat me that at bat, your mindset is, well, they were lucky. I'm going to come get them next one. We have some kids that do that. But our pitching staff, I think, potentially this year could be the strongest since I've been around.
Oh, good. What are we looking at catcher-wise? Who's going to play catcher?
Well, we got Mason Shavers, who
Okay.
ended up out of, I think, 34 ball games last year, 35 ball games, how many ever we played. He caught all but 2. And we had virtually 0 depth at the catching position last year. We've got Caleb Peacock, who is a freshman this year. The kid is going to be really good and could be special before it's all said and done. I need to be careful because I don't want to have him get the big head or anything. But he could be But as a freshman, he's going to catch. He'll be our JV catcher, but he will catch several varsity games this year. Where Mason's not going to be back there the whole time. But those 2 guys will be back behind the plate for us.
First base.
We've got Palmer Edwards, who last year was a pitcher for us. And he can hit the ball very well. He struggled last year a little bit offensively. He's worked very hard this year on mechanics. He's got some confidence right now. I'm expecting him to be very good for us offensively. But we've got him and we've got Jacob Formosa, who was a JV guy for us last year. First base coming into the year was a point of concern because we really didn't know. And we still, you know, when we get in the heat of competition, we'll see how it works out. But the way that those 2 guys are working right now and the improvement that we've seen over them just over the last couple of months, we're feeling a lot better about that position than we were before Christmas.
Second base.
Well, we've got Nick Hopper, and behind him, we're going Brody Laborn. Brody got a little banged up the other day. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So it's going to be a possibility because Nick pitches as well. And when Nick's on the mound, we've got to have somebody that can rotate into that position. Blake Bone, who's a freshman, is liable to see some time at second and at shortstop. Rager Edwards is another kid as a freshman. And by the way, our freshman class is pretty good. We're pretty excited about them. They've got a lot of growing to do and a lot of learning to do, but the potential is there. But between those 4 guys, but going into the season, Nick's our starter at second. And then we'll have, like I said, when Brody gets healthy, ideally he's going to be that guy because offensively, man, Brody was huge for us last year at times. And we've got to find a way, whether he's at second base or whether he's at shortstop when Carson's on the mound or whether we have him in the lineup as a DH, Brody will be a huge part of that as well.
Shortstop.
Carson's going to be our starting shortstop. And again, behind him, we've got Blake Bone who can play there. Again, being a freshman, we're going to take it slow with getting him reps there. When Brody gets healthy, again, he will be that integral piece, hoping to be that integral piece that rotates. When Hopper goes to the mound, Brody goes to second. When Carson goes to the mound, we'll rotate Brody to shortstop. But it'll be those three guys will get reps at short this year.
Third base.
Got Nick Johnson, who's a senior that's getting his hair cut right now. And Nick's very solid over there. If Nick's feeling good about what he's doing and he's playing with confidence, he's a special kid. Nick's biggest thing is him staying confident and believing in him. I've told him several times he's got potential to probably be the best third baseman I've ever coached. Just when he's believing in what he's doing defensively and offensively, he can murder a baseball. And then behind him, we've got Eli Lay, who has come a long way. He's going to be an absolute player, I think, for us before it's said and done. When he came in, he's done a ton of work. I've pushed him at times. I'm sure he has not liked me at times, but he has completely bought into what we're doing. He is working his tail off, and I'm very proud of the growth, not only as a baseball player from Eli, but from a maturity level as a young man that he's had over the last couple of years. But those two guys, Nick will be our starter, and we're going to get Eli as many reps as we can because he's a junior this year. Next year, I'm expecting Eli to take that position over for us. So,
Left field.
Outfield, we're rotating around a little bit. Right now, left field, we're looking at probably, you got Caleb Keffer, you got Caden Duggan, and you got Michael Estrada. And those three guys, we're going to rotate those three at different positions. And as we get to the other outfielders, we'll talk about why. But two of our guys that we're going to see a lot on the mound this year will be at center and at right. So those three guys will rotate at left. And then they're also going to have to rotate to right some, depending on who's on the mound. And then, center field, if, this man gets healthy,
right.
God willing, and he can get back, we're going to find a way that we get him back in the lineup. We've got Stephen Bobo, who, and again, I'm sure I don't want to give just tons of accolades, but that kid could be special.
Yep,
I mean,
no
just leave it at that. That kid could be absolutely special. But while Kyler's out, Steven's going to hold center field down for us. And then in right field, you've got his brother William Bobo, who is another outstanding outfielder. He's going to be our leadoff hitter. It's the way that our lineup's looking right now. From you're going to have Bobo squared in the top of the lineup. You'll have William leading off, and you're going to have Steven hitting in the 2-hole. That in the scrimmages that we've had 3 of them. I really like that look. You have an immense amount of speed, and both those guys can hit, and they're very good with the bat. They can handle it. We can get bunts when we need them.
Hard to walk them too, isn't it?
Oh yes.
If you walk them back to back, you're in trouble.
And the thing is, you get those guys on base
right.
with the hitters we got behind them. They're going, between them still in second or hitting a ball in the gap from first and going first to home on a ball in the gap. Sure. Those guys can absolutely fly.
Well, tell us when the season starts, who we play. Give us the first 2 or 3 weeks and what's going on just early in the season for everybody out there to know.
All right. Well, the season will start a week from Monday. We will open up with Central Murfreesboro Magnet. We go there. Our first 2 games are on the road. We go to Central Murfreesboro Magnet on Monday, and we'll go to Forest on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, we start the Grand Slam tournament, which is a tournament that's put on by Murfreesboro schools, primarily Blackman. But we'll host on Thursday. It'll be our first game at home. And anybody can come out, please come out. I'd love for y'all to see the facilities and everything that we've done. But we'll play Middle Tennessee Christian on that Thursday. And then we're on the road. We go, I forget, somewhere in that mix. I know we play Rockville, and I can't remember the other 2 teams.
Oakland, maybe.
Yeah, Oakland is one of them. And then it's going to be, and just to put things in perspective too, and we will have this conversation with our kids. We don't play an easy schedule. For us, my philosophy has always been baseball is a tournament sport. During the regular season, your regular season games are nothing but glorified scrimmages. Now, you want your kids to absolutely compete, and you want them to learn to win, and you want them to learn to play together, but none of that matters. I use this example all the time too. When I was at Grundy County, one year I don't remember exactly what our record was, but it was something like 34-4 in the regular season. I mean, we were dominant, and we didn't make it out of the district tournament. We got beat in the first game of the district tournament. Kids got knocked back on the heels. They hadn't faced any adversity all year. And then we ended up getting put out and didn't make it out of the district tournament. For us to be successful, and this probably sound weird, talk to our kids all the time about it, we have to go through adversity. We have to go through a losing stretch. We have to go through where we get knocked on our backside, because then you find out who you are.
Right.
Are you going to be, do you have a locker room full of warriors? Do you have a locker room full of guys that are going to look in the mirror and take accountability and say, what can I do to make us better? Or are you going to have a locker room full of guys that are going to point fingers and blame and make excuses? And if you have, and you don't know that
Right.
until you face it. But I know it sounds strange, but to reach the heights that we need to reach, we have to hit a bottom, or we have to have some adversity.
Know how to win.
So
you got to know how to lose.
You got to find out. You got to find out who you are.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to try to do this every Wednesday best we can. Coach Williams, Coach Jones, kids, thank y'all for coming out with us. We really enjoyed it, and we'll try to do this on Wednesdays. We're going to try to do one at the facility.
Okay.
We'll get a nice video to show everybody what we got going on. Coach, you're natural.
Now, I don't know about all that.
I think you did quite well.
Hopefully we'll have some
No,
people
I think
want to
you
watch.
did quite
so,
well.
yeah,
You did
well, I
quite
appreciate
well.
it.
Our sponsor today was First Bank right here in Shelbyville, 508 Madison Street. Check them out and go see Brent Kennedy and his staff for all your banking needs. And it's right here in Shelbyville. And First Bank's a great sponsor of Shelbyville Now. For Coach Williams and Coach Jones, I'm Bill Anderson, and we'll see you hopefully next Wednesday unless the boys are playing.